goddamn DJ with a knuckle.
Let's go. Make some meal breaks off. We finna step up.
Go. At the top, that on the top, when on the top, yeah, on the top, on the top, yeah, on the top, yeah, it's on the. I cut off my day ones for the win. I just put up in that black made bet you can't see in. Up got plenty of racks, I keep that strap with one cocked in. Not even close with family, why the f*** would I want friends? There's no ones who talking, I'm lit, alright. $1 million worth of cars, no lease, no rent. I'm only 20, can't nobody tell me I'm slime. Cross the line, I lose my mind, I bust that iron. Look, pistol toe my sweating in a Rolls Royce, yeah. Just send my million through an invoice. I spent plenty blue face wax on I wear once, yeah. Just like that, man, I can't keep nothing. Lost my brothers, I ain't friendly. I spent $250 on my Bentley. Straight up out the mud, we from the trenches. The realest ones had the hardest way of living. But who want smoke? I dropped them bands, I'm quick to send it. Down with Glocks up from out here, cause it's some business, bro. Their opinion, it don't help out how I'm living. Let's fight with me and whoever think I'm tripping. I pull up back and I see trouble, cock one in it. I'm full of Xanax, all my brothers rolling with me. I'm up and focused, probably blow if you come near me playing. Got all my pockets.
This is the Talking Sports Podcast, episode number 11, and I'm your host, Peter DiBiasi. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Virginia Tech football commit from Maryland, Mattheus Carroll. He's a 220-pound DN from the Gilman school, with a total of around 18 to 20 Division I offers. Recently, on April 14th, he released his top 10 schools that included Temple, Maryland, Louisville, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Duke, Vanderbilt, Cincinnati, South Carolina, and Virginia Tech. On May 25th, he released his top 3 schools, which included Virginia Tech, Maryland, and Duke. And then finally, on May 31st, he made the big decision to commit to the Virginia Tech football program, and I was really happy about that. Everybody knows I'm a Virginia Tech football fan, so I just want to thank you, man, for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're just going to dive right into the questions. So, first question. So, Virginia Tech, Duke, and Maryland were your final 3 schools, as I just said. What about those 3 schools stood out to the other schools that offered you?
I mean, for each of them, it wasn't the same thing for each of them, but for each of them, it was different. Like, I could speak for Virginia Tech's behalf. I feel like they were in it because holistically, they were like the best of both worlds for me, academically and then also athletically. And then obviously with Duke, they were like a strong academic powerhouse out of those 3. So academics stood out for them with me, and then also, lastly, Maryland. They're just trending. That's a hometown team for me. They're on the upward swing of things, and that was just like super intriguing to see. So if I had to give you like just this quick, response of why each of those were in my top 3, that's it.
Okay, and I know you're from Maryland, so was that did that have a factor in you making Maryland a high choice? That you're from Maryland, or was that one of the reasons you didn't pick Maryland because you're from Maryland? You kind of wanted to get out a little.
Yeah, no, that was one of the – I'm a family guy, so location didn't matter for me throughout this whole process. I always said it throughout the recruiting trails and my business and stuff. My maximum that I wanted to be away from home was 5 to 6 hours, which is what each of those schools fit in to that radius. So, being in Maryland, that definitely influenced them making my top 3, especially because, just speaking for their behalf, they're recruiting a lot of in-state players. So they sort of want to build, a team like LSU where they're basically playing with homegrown kids and competing at a high level. So.
Okay, so this is kind of touched on this a little. So, why did Virginia Tech kind of take a step above Maryland and Duke? Was there a coach specifically, or was it just their facilities? Or why did Virginia Tech? Why did you commit to Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like I said before, why they made my top 3. It was just a decision where everything played a factor heavily. And I talk a lot about Coach Sterling, which, I mean, I'm not going to undermine it at all with their combined experience and also playing experience at the next level in the NFL. That was a big factor, but like everything. Coach Fuente, I mean, he was a super honest guy. I really respected him as a head coach. Then you also look at like for me, I want to major in sports management. So their business school, I believe it's called Pamplin. They, they have like a really renowned business school that's going to push me academically. So I was going to get better, in the classroom. And then lastly, I always talk about like, as far as getting like to my maturation of becoming like a young man, I really do believe in those coaches' ability to basically mentor me to get to that point. So just holistically, like I just broke down 3 things, but like holistically, I just felt like it was just going to be a good decision for each of the driving factors for what I wanted throughout this whole decision process.
Okay, so was there a school that you didn't list in your top 3 that you listed in your top 10 that you were very interested in committing, or even putting them in your top 3 that you didn't put in your top 3?
Yeah, I mean, because I wasn't able to get visits. Like, I honestly think like South Carolina or like Vanderbilt or Louisville, they would have been some – I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no to those, but they would have definitely shook things up a little bit if I had visited. And it was kind of crazy because I was scheduled to visit them right before everything shut down. So, it's unfortunate. But I feel confident in, my decision to commit to Tech.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. With everything shutting down, you didn't have a chance to visit. Was that kind of disappointing, you not getting to visit a couple other schools? I know you said you're happy committing to Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech's a great school. Obviously, I'm a Virginia Tech football fan, so I'm going to say that. But and the school you put on the list were great, but was that kind of disappointing that you didn't get to visit, like you just said, Louisville, South Carolina?
Yeah, no, it was. I was, because I hadn't gotten the SEC visits. My dream school growing up was Auburn. I was like a big SEC fan, so throughout this whole recruiting process, like, man, I really want to get SEC experience, but I never really was able to. With Vandy and South Carolina being my 2 SEC schools that I was recruited by, never got to visit them. But I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate, but like through this whole like dead period and stuff, I've constantly had the mindset to move my recruitment along. Just like moving it along because the unknown is ahead of us, and I don't want to bank my recruitment off of if I might be able to take an official visit to this school or this school. So like I said, I just feel confident in where I'm at with my commitment to Tech and just my recruitment so far.
Perfect. Okay, so kind of touching more on Tech. So, like, what coach recruited you the hardest at Tech? I know Justin Hamilton just became the DC. Was it him? Was it Daryl Tapp? Was it Justin Fuente? Was it someone else I didn't mention?
Yeah, no, it was Coach Turnley.
Okay.
Coach Turnley, he was the best or the most like prevalent. But I'd tell you, like, it was kind of weird with Tech because when I was getting recruited by all these different schools, it was mainly like maybe 2 or 3 coaches chipping in, But with Tech, like, it was like 6. It was Coach Turnley, Coach Tapp, Coach Fuente, Coach Hamilton, Coach Williams, he's my area recruiter, and then Coach Sparber, who's a GA assistant for the D-line.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so you're saying basically Virginia Tech kind of put in more of their –
Yeah, it was weird because, like, for me, Maryland, they were recruiting me at that level with, a ton of guys, but they're local. I had visited them so much, so I know those coaches. But, like, truthfully, I didn't really know a lot of the Virginia Tech coaches, like, even after my visit, and they still just sort of reached out and were trying to build a relationship, which was really a good thing.
Yeah. So I know you don't get to play with Bud Foster, who's the long-time Virginia Tech defensive coordinator for about over 20 years. Do you have any disappointment in that, or are you just looking forward into like the coaches that we have that are great coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I do like, like I always think about like, wow, if I had the opportunity to play for him, that would be something. But I mean, Coach Hamilton is like, I don't look at him as a slouch at all either. Yeah. I mean, I look at him like he's really the perfect guy to replace, such big shoes. Because, I mean, just talking to the guy with, Zoom calls, just hitting him up on Twitter, like the communication I've been able to have with him so far, I can really tell that he's the guy for the job for sure.
Yeah, Justin Hamilton, he's a fast riser. He did a great job becoming the coach right away. So
yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so I know everybody knows if you're a Virginia Tech football fan, we have a huge rivalry with Virginia. But what team are you looking forward to playing the most?
North Carolina, just because how much they've been trending recently. I think that's going to be a super good competition to get against those guys and hopefully get the W.
Did you ever consider going into North Carolina? Because I know on your Instagram page, I believe you took a visit to them, if I'm not wrong. But
Yeah, no, I did. I took a visit. I think it was like January, and it was super good. But for them, it was just like they had too much commitments from opposition, so they weren't really looking for me because they already had commits. So unfortunately, they actually never offered. It was just a visit that I had with them.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it was it's a good school for sure.
Yeah. What about UVA? Did you have any interest? Did they ever offer you? Did you ever make a visit to them?
Yeah, UVA was I think like my third or fourth offer. They came in super early in the process, but I took a visit. Kept communication with the coaches for probably halfway through the season, and like out of nowhere, it just like cut off. I don't know what happened. And it wasn't for the reason of commitments being made because there was no commits at my class. So personally, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But I just cut off.
So you're saying that Virginia kind of cut off their communication with you, not the other way around?
Yeah, no, I mean I only had 4 offers. I was wide open. I was entertaining everybody, and then just somewhere along the way, like I said, halfway through the season, they didn't reach out anymore.
That's funny. I hate UVA, so I'm totally fine with you not going to UVA and back in. But yeah, that is weird how they didn't. You only had
it's a business, so I understand like how things move. So I try not to get like I don't try to take it too personal, but I see at that time they were like a huge contenders. Like I said earlier, I only had 4 offers, so I would certainly listen to them. But like I said, it's a business, and throughout this whole process, I've always tried to keep the mindset to take everything for what it is and move my recruitment forward. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that's ultimately got me to the decision of making myself feel comfortable in committing to Tech. So I can't complain.
Yeah, you could have planned out a little differently if they stayed in your commitment to the end, but you never know. Okay, so I know on your Instagram bio, and it says that you play D end, linebacker, and tight end. So what position do you prefer playing, like at high school and at Virginia Tech?
Defensive end. So I'll tell you, for linebacker this year, I was playing mainly because most of my offers, like again, I said earlier, I only had 4 offers during the football season. My coach had seen, and a lot of those offers that came before, I think like 3 of them came before the season that actually had started. So my head football coach, he's a defensive coordinator as well. And he saw that I was getting most of those offers at outside linebacker. So he was like, why wait till you get to college to figure this thing out? Let's do it now. So I was playing specifically outside linebacker, but I was playing the same position where I was dropping in coverage, coming off the edge on 3rd and 4th downs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit different, but I definitely did adjust as the season went along. It was definitely my best year as far as high school ball goes. So I couldn't sell it short at all. But that's really how outside linebacker came about. Honestly, this year, we're meeting on Zooms and stuff right now. So they had me playing at a true defensive end because that's what I'll be doing at Tech. So I'm excited for that. And then tight end is just really just because my team only has we're really low in numbers. It's only about 30 kids on the team, something like that. So, we have to play, like the athletes have to play both sides of the ball. So tight end is just really the position that I could play, to help my team, which, is always a good thing.
Yeah, so which is a good thing that you can play outside linebacker and DM. So if Tech wants to move you around a little, use you as more of a versatile player, which actually helps you getting time on the field. So that's a good
doubt. No doubt.
Okay, so kind of following up that, so what style of play do you see yourself as like an edge rusher? Are you like a speed rusher, power rusher, run stopper, like Von Miller, Khalil Mack? Like what type of player are you?
Yeah, I think I'm more so a speed rusher. It's kind of funny because I don't think my pass rushing ability is even like close to maxed out yet.
Okay.
Like I don't really have too much specific training on pass rushing opportunities. Like a lot of people don't even really know this, but for my high school career last year, I was playing basically a 3-3 stack defense. So I'm playing a true outside linebacker. I'm playing from depth about 3 yards back. A lot of those snaps I really wasn't coming off the edge, but it's kind of weird because I did the calculation myself. I rushed off the edge I think a total of 51 times last year, 51 snaps, and I had 11 sacks. And I'm just thinking to myself like, man, had I rushed the edge or rushed off the edge every opportunity I had, like, you know, that really would have changed the game. Like I think I would have had a lot more sacks. So I'm saying all that to say, like, I really don't think I've tapped into my full potential as far as a pass rusher yet. But somebody like compare myself to like oftentimes I try to look at like Chase Young. He's like a big inspiration of mine. Obviously because he's from, you know, this area, the DMV, but just like I think our games are very similar, have the potential to do that. And then like Myles Gary's another guy that I really admire. Von Miller, I mean, I'm a fan of Von Miller, but it's like I think his prime is more so what I'm a fan of. Like, you know, when he's playing against the Panthers, the Super Bowl and stuff like that. Proves Von Miller at times. Not really now per se, but you know, he's still a good player. But yeah, if this I had to get you 3, that's probably like 3 that I really like just watching and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you kind of wanted to expand your edge rushing ability, maybe get more reps this. Hopefully, we have a season. Maybe might boost your overall popularity going to Tech.
Yeah, I think that's possible too. When I get to Tech, I mean, Coach Tab and Coach Turley, those guys and their experience will definitely do that. And you know, I can't wait.
But yeah, if they see you like become a pure edge rusher, they'll tap right into that and they'll make you an edge rusher, whatever fits you the best. So they'll do a great job.
Right.
Yeah. So who was your biggest influence or had the biggest impact on you growing up, like in your football career? Who pushed you the hardest to become the man and the player you are today?
It was really my dad. Like a lot of the times, you know, I really wasn't like, I didn't feel like working out or stuff like that. He would always constantly remind me like somebody else is working, you know, like somebody else is working, putting in that work, and you're missing the opportunity to do the same. So like just keeping that motivation for me throughout this whole process, really with my dad, just like giving me that reality check constantly to, you know, stay level-headed and just keep working.
Yeah, because you're in a lucky position. Not a lot of people have the chance to have that many D1 offers, that many schools looking at them. So
No doubt.
Yeah, somebody else could be in your position, and you just got to keep working for what you got.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, so everybody knows that right now we're going through the coronavirus and quarantine and all that fun stuff. So what have you been doing to like keep yourself in shape or working out throughout this whole awful process in quarantine we have?
Yeah, so honestly, throughout like the break, I've actually been able to still train with my trainer at his house, not actually at his gym, but at his house, which he has pretty much every piece of equipment that you need to get like a full workout in. He has squat rack, he has a bench, and then he has like, I mean, deadlifts and cleans. We're just doing that off the concrete, so you know you don't really need any special equipment for that. So we've been able to do all of our Olympic lifts, and then he's doing like our cardio because he lives on a super big farm, so we're running his hills and, you know, doing that kind of stuff. He's a nice little sled that we run up hills and stuff. So, you know, I really haven't missed a beat as far as working out wise. Like this whole break, I definitely think I've gotten better and like even bigger, just like, you know, looking at myself. So yeah, I'm excited to get back playing and, you know, showcase all the improvement that I've been able to do, you know, up until this point. So I'm super excited for that. But no, I'm actually blessed because I don't think, you know, a lot of people have had the opportunity to kind of still work out throughout this whole thing. Like I know a lot of my friends, they've been doing like push-ups and stuff like that. So, you know, you got to get how you get it.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of basically just to wrap up, final question. Going back to Virginia Tech, what do you think of Enter Sandman and running out of the tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, first, like, my first thing, I'm like, man, that's a long walk. But I I think like if it really wasn't a long walk, like it wouldn't build up that like that anticipation, you know, like it wouldn't build that up, and then it wouldn't be like as lit as it is. So I think like, man, I can't wait. I haven't even seen it in person, but like all the videos I've seen on YouTube like give me chills. You know what I mean? Like my commitment video, like when I first had seen it, I'm like telling my parents like, man, this video is hard because, you know, it was giving me chills. Like that whole experience is just, you know, it's one of the best in college football that I've seen. So like I said, I'm super excited to get there and, you know, experience it.
And I know hopefully we have a season this upcoming fall. Do you plan on going to any games? Like, is that in your future plans this fall?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they have a game, one game, I'm going to be there. If it's not the Penn State game, that was the one I was trying to key in on going before the season and the corona had hit. But if not, like I said, I'm definitely going to try to make it out to the, you know, whatever game they have.
Yeah, that Penn State game is gonna be awesome. Man, thank you for coming on. This was a great interview.
No doubt. Thank you for having me. Like I said earlier, this was great.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to the Virginia Tech fans before we sign off?
No, I'm good. Like I always say, like I don't have nothing else to say. I'm just ready to win ACC championships.
I love it, man. Thank you. So this is the Talking Sports Podcast, episode number 11, and I'm your host, Peter DiBiasi. And today we are joined by Mattheus Carroll. And thank you, man, for coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.